What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Human League. And indeed, we're back for the first reaction to the reformulated Human League. I just did a reaction to Martin Ware and Ian Craig Marsh as Heaven 17. And so this is the other side of that split. Phil Oakey and I believe Joanne and Suzanne, two female singers I think he saw performing somewhere and brought into the group once it became his group. And yeah, I do know Don't You Want Me for a long time now. I remember that track from my youth, and I remember, hearing it again in my teen years, and like, oh, I love this track. And then, at some point, I probably heard it in my 20s and so on. It's a tune I've known for decades and I've always enjoyed. And Shirley was actually the first Human League tune I heard, despite the fact that it was a later configuration of the band. I mentioned Han Solo a couple months ago. My work, they were playing this 80s station for a little while, and I heard, I think, one or two tracks from this album. It was a one-time listen, and I was at work, so I basically heard, part of the tune as I was in and out of doing other things. So one or two of these might come back to me in the moment from a recent experience. But I believe, generally speaking, the majority of the album I've never heard before. So, my understanding is that this configuration of Human League is a bit more, catchy for lack of a better word, not in a negative way, but just a bit more synth pop, consonant, like hit type of tunes, whereas the earlier configuration definitely had a more experimental, expansive and unconventional style. Not to say that there weren't one or two tracks which had a really catchy sound, but my understanding is that this is a bit more toward the popular synth pop sound, so which would make sense. Nevertheless, the first track on the album is called Things. Is it the stuff or the Things That Dreams Are Made Of? As an editor, I would say you don't need that in that sentence. Regardless of that unimportant point, I would just say perhaps we're talking about the fantastical, the beyond everyday experience. Sometimes people have flying dreams, or dreams where they're other people, or dreams where they're seemingly in some sort of dramatic scenario or plot. So perhaps the stuff that dreams are made of the things that dreams are made of are the things beyond what most people experience on an everyday level. Now, the irony of that is that I don't dream very often, but when I do, it's typically like I'm in the kitchen, I get a glass of water, I close the refrigerator, poof, I wake up. It's like, what's the point of that? Was there really a point to that, brain? But yeah, my expectation would be the other way, that the things dreams are made of are those which most people do not experience, certainly not regularly. So let's find out what it's about. This is the Human League, The Things That Dreams Are Made Of, the first track on the 1981 album Dare. Feels like old Human League. To see the things you've only ever heard of. Dream life the way you think it ought to be. See things you thought you'd never ever see. Take a cruise to China or a train to Spain. Go round modest request. I do like that. Take a lift to the top of the Empire State. That frolicking melody. Drive across the Golden Gate. bad for Total Recall.
Everybody needs love and affection. Everybody needs 2 or 3 friends. These are the things that dreams are made of. These are the things that dreams are made of. Like fun and money and food and love, the things you never thought of. These are the things
Sort of a shot at
that dreams are made of.
folks out in the world too.
New York ice cream, TV, travel, good times. Norman Wisdom, Johnny, Joey, Dee, good times. These are the things that dreams are made of. These are the things
That Hoover vacuum-esque.
made of. These are the things that dreams are
We have female vocals.
made of. These are the things that dreams are made of. These are the things that dreams are made of. These are the things that dreams are made of. These are the things
Well, it has a brightness to it and a bit of a jolly frolic, but it's definitely more, complex and, wicked in some of the sounds, like early Human League, than I would have expected. Now, Phil Oakey's on vocals. I don't know. It makes me wonder whether, this is a tune he might have already had, or they might have already worked out, and then like the female vocals were put in there. Maybe it was just composed completely after the new configuration, but. Basically I was expecting to hear more of the female vocals on that one. I think they were there by the end, but obviously it was Phil on the lead. So, like I said, the sounds were a bit more wicked and multi-flavored than I perhaps expected. So, again, not that I expect the whole album to sound like Don't You Want Me, but this sounded less like that and more like reproduction and travelogue than I might have thought. So, cool opener. Looking forward to the rest of this album. It feels like it's been a long time coming. So once again, shout out to Han Solo for sharing all sorts of stuff, but in particular the Human League and now Heaven 17 deep dives that were going on. So do let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.